Hey, it's Glenn again, and I was right to lay the groundwork in my last vlog, because, and I'm laughing because it's horrible. Life is horrible. Um, I don't recommend it. So, in the previous vlog episode, which was titled Managing CPTSD When the Walls Are Closing In, something like that, perhaps exactly that, I don't know. Test my memory, it's close to that at least. I talked about a lot of stuff that was going on that I didn't know what direction things were going to go, but I definitely speculated. So I want to say it was a long video. So about 45 minutes-ish in is when I start talking about what I'm going to bring you up to date on. And for those of you who didn't watch it and aren't going to watch it, basically what happened was, and this is going to be the very stripped down bullet points version. I hope I'm loquacious. Let's try to just strip it down because I already told this whole story in the last vlog. But basically, I'm couch surfing at the moment. I'm down to one place to couch surf that I feel comfortable staying. My friend's mother lives next door, and she's insane. And so, so it was basically, so what I did, they wanted more money than I have for me just staying there a few hours a night with all the lights. I don't use any electricity. I don't, I give them money for what little I do. What very little I do, which is laundry every week or two, and showers almost never, because the other guy who lives there always locks himself inside the bathroom when I'm there. So the longest I went without a shower was about a complete entire month. So I didn't need to say complete and entire. I'm being dramatic. But it's true. It was a month between showers. And so the mom... Well, okay, so I'm trying to... Because I already told this story. So, I gave my friend extra money. I paid double what I normally pay them because they needed help they couldn't afford to get the lawn mowed. So I had gotten overtime, so I told him very specifically, I can do this, anytime I can help you, I will, and this is one of those times, because I got overtime, so I paid to get the yard done, but I told him I can't do this again probably because they're cutting my hours, which they have continued to do. After that, I realized I have an electric lawnmower in storage, so I offered to mow his lawn as long as he promised not to tell his crazy mother or the crazy guy who also lives in the house. And he immediately told his mother, and not only that, he also offered to have me mow her yard as well, which is physically impossible because they both have giant yards. I have a little electric lawnmower that I already knew I would have to recharge. So anyway, I thought she'd go insane because I've known this person for 20 years. And I'm well aware of how she behaves. And if you're doing something for her, you are now her enemy, and she's going to find every flaw. So, as predicted, she was calling Nick every time I had to stop and charge the batteries and screaming at him and saying, I just don't want to do it, and she's going to kick me out or make me pay $100 a month for a month for nothing. They're costing them any money. I'm not in her way. And who is she to charge me? So anyway, so every time I have to stop and recharge the batteries, which takes hours, Nick's getting berated, I'm being threatened, and that's why I'm like, yep, I'm not gonna do this. This is why I said don't tell your mom. Now it's become a threat that if I don't do it, there will be punishment. It's something I offered to do. Anyway, so like, I was anticipating this is not going to end well because no one who is ever under this woman's thumb for anything has ever had it end well. She just completely melts down, becomes both monster and victim, and pushes people out of her life and out of her kids' lives. Well, she can't push me out, but anyway, of her kids' lives anyway. So like, so that's basically, you want the details, revisit that previous vlog episode, managing CPTSD when the walls are closing in. So I was anticipating a blow up from her, that she was eventually going to go completely insane and try to throw me out. And so everything, it was funny because I think it was the next day after it was within a day or two after, it was the following Monday. So I do think that was the next day. And, it was kind of funny in retrospect. I was traumatized in the moment, but everything that I said she would do in that video, she did, except way worse. Way worse than I anticipated. Like, there was no, because I was anticipating, I'm going to talk to this lady and explain to her that I do not have the money she wants from me, and that I'm not going to mow her lawn because I never offered to mow her lawn, and I'm not going to mow the other lawn either because she makes it an unsafe situation for me. Like, again, details in the previous vlog. I'm leaving a lot out, so don't judge me. I gave all the specifics of everything in the previous vlog. So, anyway, what happened was, because the last thing that had happened was that it had rained the previous weekend. Like, 2 weekends in a row it rained. So I didn't mow the lawn, and so she was irate because I control the weather, apparently. And but she was telling her son she just wanted to sit down and talk with me. And I'm like, smelling a trap, because there's literally nothing to discuss. Like, this just sounds like a setup for her brand of drama. Because I have done nothing wrong, I have cost her no money. All I did, my big mistake, was offering to mow my friend's lawn so that he didn't have to pay for it because I had a lawnmower just sitting in storage. Like, I want to help out the people who are helping me out. That's why I give them what money I can, which isn't very much, but it is more than I spend there. Like, it covers more than the electricity and water that I use in a month there. By far, it covers more. And I don't mind that it covers more because they can use it for whatever little thing comes up. But that's it. I am on the tightest budget. My savings just got wiped out by my car having to be put in the shop and having massive issues. And it had to be fixed, so I have no cushion. My hours are getting cut at work. And she wants me to give her $100 a month. For what? I don't know. Like, I guess I'm supposed to, in her mind, I'm making the electricity go up. It's really not me. I don't use any electricity over there. I go in, the lights go off, but I'm not going to repeat the last video because the new stuff that happened. So, Sunday night, it was 1 a.m. when I got over there, and my friend didn't want to wake her up. She had wanted to talk to me and told him to wake her up. Why? Because drama, because there is nothing to talk about. I didn't mow the lawn because it rained. It was raining all weekend. So he didn't wake her up and just let her sleep and was like, oh, you can just talk to her tomorrow. And so I did. And I left my author office earlier than I had wanted to, just to catch her before she went to sleep. And I told my friend, I'm not going over there to talk to her unless you and the dog come with me. Because I knew it was a trap. And he kept telling me, no, she just wants to talk. And I'm just thinking, how do I know your mother better than you do? But you can't blame a guy for wanting to think the best of his mom. But he was wrong, and I was more than right. Because we didn't even get an opportunity to go over there. Like, he was leaving to go over, and I had literally just gotten there. And I went into his house to put my stuff down because Mom lives next door. And we were going to all three go over there and have a big talk about why didn't I mow the lawn in the rain, I guess. But I knew it was just her being insane. So my friend went to go and let her know we were coming over. But she was already out of her house and storming over, screaming and swearing, and like, I'm in there with the dog, just petting the dog, waiting for Nick to come back, and my friend to come, whatever. I said his name in the last one too. But like, then she just starts pounding on the door like she's trying to knock it down, and screaming at me and swearing and not making any sense. Like, all the things she's accusing me of are not based anywhere in reality. Like, and you know, something like some of it I can't even remember it because it just wasn't anchoring with any reality I was familiar with. Like that I'm ignoring all of her demands, and I'm like, what demands? What in the hell are you talking about? And screaming that I just think I can come and go as I please. Like, she doesn't like that I come to the author office. She says I don't need it, that I can do my writing over there. No, I can't. I cannot. It's nothing but chaos and noise in that house. Plus, I signed a contract. I'm renting. I can't just... Plus, it's not her place. It's not her business. To tell me what I can and can't do. But apparently, I'm supposed to get her permission before I come to my author office, before I even, I am not to come and go as I please. Like, she holds it against me that I get up and go to work in the morning, that I come here at night, that I come and go as I please without clearing it with her first. And she lives next door. Let me say that again. She lives next door. So why do I have to get her permission to leave her son's house or whatever? So she's just screaming, threatening, all kinds of just evil coming out of her mouth, and she's banging on the door like crazy. When she stopped banging on the door, I went over to the door and I answered it, and I told her in a very shaky voice, because I was more than triggered, which is the thing we were talking about in the last vlog about the PTSD and taking me off guard and triggering the Incredible Hulk to smash, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be as peaceful in life as I can be, but when you take me off guard, like I said in the last video, it's bad. Like, I stop being me, and it takes me a minute to figure out I'm a monster. I need to stop. I need to pull back and breathe, or someone's gonna get hurt, and I don't intend that. It's just that I go right into fight mode. Flight, no. Freeze, no. It's fight when I get triggered. So she was triggering the shit out of me. And she terrified the dog. The dog's legs turned into noodles. Like, she couldn't even stand up. She was so scared. Like, she was barking at this woman when she saw her coming out the window. So yeah, so I opened the door and I said, I am willing to have a conversation with you, but I am not going to be yelled at. And then she just started screaming and lunged at me, and I slammed the door and locked it because, oh hell no. You know, it's like I said in the last video, like, people are far enough away from me, I'm good. If I lose it, I will just scream at them. But if someone touches me like that, I am going to violently hurt them before I even know what I've done. So that's why I slammed the door, locked it, start frantically gathering my stuff. Didn't have time to comfort the dog because I'm like, okay, I am not okay right now. I'm triggered, I'm trembling with just containing my rage fight response. I have to get out of here right now and come back when she's calm. Like, so I did. I didn't have time to comfort the dog. Like, I felt terrible. Like, but yeah, I'm just like, all right, I got my backpack, took off. I didn't have work clothes for the next day. I didn't have, you know, it was late. I didn't have anywhere to go as far as I saw it, you know, like, I didn't want to wake anybody up or, because, you know, this is a place I can go where, as I said in the previous episode, it doesn't disrupt anyone's lives. Like, my friend is playing video games when I get there, and he's playing video games when I go to bed. Nothing. He's not having to change anything about his lifestyle for me. I'm crashing on a couch that no one uses except the dog for a chew toy. So yeah, so I open the door and it's like, just like gonna go because this is bad. This is way worse than I had anticipated, and it gets worse because she's screaming at me as I'm passing her up and not saying a word to her. And, you know, she's demanding the key back, her key. And I'm like, this isn't your key. Nick gave me this key and had it made. And plus you can't legally do this. Those are the only words I said to her. You can't do this legally. And which is true. You know, like I had to set things up there because I needed to renew my driver's license. I didn't have an address. Nick let me use that address. So I have things mailed there. That's the address on my driver's license. Though I do not technically, I don't sleep there every night. I don't have a room. I don't live there. I sleep there a lot. But I do have established residency there legally. So you can't just throw someone out on the street. And she can't do it anyway. She isn't the landlord and she lives next door. So I don't... But everyone always cows down to this woman because she is loud and scary. Like, my friend is terrified of her because she has physically abused him numerous times. Speaking of which, when I was making a beeline for my car, you know, she picks up a brick to, I guess, murder me with. And I don't even see her. And then I get in my car and then she tries to throw this brick through my windshield. But Nick grabs and restrains her. Nick, who is disabled. Like, oh my God. This woman is a monster. So So I took off, and then you know, I have friends who would argue this with me when I and have like, and I see where they're coming from. Like, Nick's brother told me I always have a place to go, but the thing is, I don't want to disrupt people's lives. Like, he lives with his girlfriend, there's a kid. I don't want to be the stranger on the couch. It's like way simpler with Nick because I know for a fact I'm not disrupting his life. And he's one of the very few people like that. A lot of my friends have significant others. A couple of them have children or infants. I'm not doing that to them because I know, it's going to be one of those things where they don't want me to think I'm in the way, but I'm in the way. So I didn't call any of these people and say, hey, I need a place to crash tonight, because don't want to wake up kids, babies, don't want to do any of that. So I just drove for a little while, and then I came back to the author office where I'm not allowed to sleep, and just kind of curled up under my desk in the dark and tried to pull myself together, because I was triggered as hell, and I had to calm down so I could think clearly, and I did, and I came up with a solution, I thought. But, and I mentioned in the last video I'd done math and figured out the only way that I could give $100 and get out of having to do the lawn would be to do a water fast. But, and I could get Nick the money to mow the lawn through November, which hopefully it's not even still growing in November, but definitely not in September. So I had Nick come by. I had to call in to work, and they didn't approve my sick time until the very last minute. It was quite stressful, because they're, I guess, being weirder than ever about hours and stuff, and I guess not wanting to pay people. So yeah, Nick came by the office the next day. I hadn't had a wink of sleep, because I had to call in because not only was I exhausted, but I needed to find a solution to this problem, and I didn't have all of my things to get ready for work. I didn't have my work clothes. I was completely unprepared to go to work. So, like, Nick came by, he agreed to the plan. I gave him basically my lunch money and said, use it to get the yard done. And now I'm no longer, because I had offered to do his yard. So I wanted to honor that just because I offered, but I'm not doing it anymore because I'm not dealing with that lady going insane and watching out the window, and if I dare pause to charge a battery, she's gonna come over and scream and swear and make threats at me. She's like, picture the worst quote-unquote Karen you've ever seen and magnify it by 1,000. That's her. Just always looking for something to get upset about to a volcanic degree, which is why I didn't want her to know I was mowing Nick's yard. He could have just told her that he took care of it. He paid someone to mow the yard, whatever. She could think what she wants. Because I'd get up early, get it done. But she knew, and so it was over. It was over at that point, I thought. But I've since looked into my rights. And I'm going to dig my heels in because this is sort of an existential crisis for me. I don't, even if I stay on someone else's couch, like I have a truck I'm trying to fix up there, that if she has it towed, which is my fear, that she'll do something crazy and vindictive like that. If I lose that truck, because my car, as you may know from following this vlog, has a terminal illness that I can't afford to fix, and I can't afford to get a new car. My biggest hope is to get that truck up and running, but I have to get to where I can save up money again. So I have to keep staying there in order to protect my truck. And because otherwise, when my car dies, if I don't get $21,000 before then to fix it with, then I'll have nothing and I won't be able to afford a car. So that's why I've got to fight. I've got to stay and fight this lady who may or may not be on the lease of that rent house that her son lives in. I'm trying to figure out the details still, but either way, she doesn't have the authority to evict anyone legally at all. Because at first I figured out what is the legal process for kicking someone out, enough to learn that she couldn't just throw me out that minute. There are certain legal steps that have to be taken. She'd taken none of them, but now it turns out she can't take them because she isn't the landlord. She can't throw anyone out. Because, and Nick didn't go through, he is so terrified of her that, of course, after I said, don't tell your mom again about our agreement about, I'm going to give him money, she doesn't need to know I'm giving him money, he immediately went over and told her. Because he is terrified of her. He's terrified that if she finds out later, which she will blow up and do violence to him again. Because she has. She has choked him. She has thrown things at him so hard that there is a bruise in the shape of the thing she threw at him on his back. He's scared to death of her. And he's also scared because she's always threatening to throw him out too if he doesn't drop everything and do what she wants when she wants. Man, he's 36 years old and can't live his own life. And he's so beaten down. And it makes me mad. But yeah, so he immediately, I think, he took her the money to get the lawn done because, it's a crisis if you stop to charge your batteries or wait for the rain to pass and dry. It's the end of the entire world. But he took her the money, told her I was going to cover it through November. She told him no, I was going to give her $100 on the 9th of every month forever. And I'm like, and he told her that I was going to be water fasting in order to come up with the money because it's my food money and I don't have any extra money. She didn't give a fuck. She doesn't care if I have to starve for the rest of my life. And so, to me, that's the end of her. In my estimation, I am done with her. There is no respect for her anymore because she literally doesn't care if she kills me. But, so anyway, I'm water fasting and it doesn't work out very well. I had a couple false starts because I started getting really sick, worse than, because I've water fasted before for health many times for a few days or whatever. It's never been something I couldn't do. But so I started looking what am I doing wrong this time, because it was bad. My body is only just starting to get normal-ish again. Like, I was jacked up. And it turns out, because as I've mentioned before, it's really hot. Like, I turn the lights down in this one so that I don't look quite so red and glistening. Because all day at work, I am sweating profusely. My car doesn't have air conditioning, and I have to drive an hour in traffic to get to this office on a good day, and I'm sweating profusely. Then in this office, they've started turning the AC off at night and, fairly early on the weekends. It used to be noon, but it starts getting a lot hotter in here 2 hours before noon on the weekends. So I'm constantly, and then I drive over there or wherever I'm going for the night, and I'm in my car still sweating profusely even at night. So the problem is I'm losing all of my salt, and just with water, I'm not replenishing it, and that can be fatal. And that's what was going wrong with my body trying to water fast. So there's no way I can do this without dying. So then, the last several days I've been taking time to think, ponder, explore my legal rights, and she's going to blow up and go crazy, and I'm going to be ready for that every day so that I don't get triggered. Because, if I prepare myself for it, if I know what I'm walking into, I can just breathe and say, okay, she's going to say some crazy shit. She's going to accuse me of shit, threaten me, call me names, threaten my friend, probably threaten to cook the dog or something. Like, she's that crazy. And, yeah, so I've explored my rights. She can't evict anyone. So I'm, gonna stand by Nick on that too, because one of his biggest fears is that she's going to throw him out. She can't. She isn't the landlord. She doesn't own that house. Nick is on the lease. And I'm not on the lease, but I still have rights. So I cannot just be summarily evicted by another person who's in that house who doesn't own it. So like, I'm expecting her to try World War III, but I'm not going to starve myself to give her money. I agreed with my friend to get the yard done through November. I will pay for the yard to be done through November. Somehow. It's like, I could take maybe some of my gas money and maybe get a ride from someone who isn't going to make me pay for gas, but I don't want to. This is awful stuff. I'm having to spend so much. Like, I have a discretionary budget, but it's basically I have to buy oil all the time to put in my car to keep the engine going as long as humanly possible. I can maybe skip oil. Like, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to honor what I told Nick I would do. But after that, and I can't starve myself anymore because I will in fact die because I never stop sweating. I can't do a water fast. At this juncture, I can't do a water fast. It would be deadly. So, and like, I talked to my friend's brother, who's another dear friend of mine, but and he was reiterating, anytime something like that happens, I can call him in the middle of the night and come crash on his couch. But again, like I said, there's a kid, there's a girlfriend, and I might occasionally do that because I don't want them to think I'm snubbing them. That isn't the case at all. It's just me trying to be respectful of their family life, So I'm not going to be giving this woman any money. Why would I? She lives next door. I pay my way in this place. Like, I pay more than what I cost. Um, so it's been a very distressing couple of weeks. Um, and yeah, I've been avoiding her like the plague because, I mean, because the following, like, you know, my friend told her that, because I was like, oh, yeah, the day I called into work, he was like, oh, so, um, you know, you could come talk to her now and then just mow the lawn. I'm like, no, I'm not mowing the lawn. That is over. Because the woman tried to murder me with a brick. I'm not doing anything for her. Like, I'm not doing anything that she thinks she's in charge of, which includes his yard, where she'll be watching out the window. So, and I was like, and I'm not talking to her. Like, there's nothing to talk about. I didn't mow the lawn because it rained. She was there in the world, it was raining. So, she just wants drama. She just wants to exert power over me. And this is extortion. She's trying to, like, you know, you will do this for me or else I will do this to you. No, I'm not gonna bend the knee to a bully. I never have, I never will. And that's all this is she wants to feel powerful. It vexes her that I'm not under her control. But you know, I grew up around yelling and screaming adults who eventually, the yelling and screaming had no meaning to me. Like, all that yelling and screaming is just noise. Like, she can't hurt me. I mean, and I'm not going to starve myself just to make her happy. And I guess that's what she's used to, is she yells and screams and everyone does what she says because they're scared of her. I'm not scared of her. I, you know, closed the door on her. I made a beeline out of there because I'm scared of me. And what I will do if she pushes me too hard and I'm not ready for it, I gotta get my PTSD afflicted brain out of that situation. But yeah, so the following Saturday, even though he told her that I need space and that she needs to stay away until everybody's calm. Everybody needs to calm down before any talking happens. And again, what is there to talk about? She wants money I literally don't have for expenses I'm literally not racking up. So, and she lives next door. So, yeah, so she agreed to that. And then, of course, you know, Saturday morning when I was leaving to come here to my author office, she comes out, ambushes me on my way to the car. Everyone else is asleep, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. No conversation unless there are witnesses. But she's like, I just want to talk to you for a minute. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, is it going to be a conversation, or are you just going to, you know, am I going to get to have a say? Because the last time, that was not a talk. That was her just screaming and attempting murder. And I'm not going to do that. And so she's like, yes, that's what a talk is. You're going to get to talk. And then she immediately starts making demands and saying, from now on, this is how it's going to be. You're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. No more coming and going as you please. You don't go to your office until blah, 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 and this is done. And on the 9th of every month, you will give me $100. No, you're not going to give it to Nick. No more of this middleman shit. You're going to give it straight directly to me. And I just go, no. And I got in my car and I left. I left her bitching on the sidewalk. So, because I was getting in a, you don't make me angry, you won't like me when I'm angry, kind of, I was turning green. So I had to go. And so, you know, fuck that. So that's where that went. That's where that blew up, and that's where it is right now. Like, I'm just avoiding a confrontation. Oh, and you know what I found interesting, which is more evidence that she was just trying to be a vile human being and succeeding, is that it took her over 2 weeks to get the lawn mowed. The grass was as tall as me almost. And I was telling my friend, I'm like, "Look, we gotta get I've given the money. The yard needs to get done because she's gonna come blame me for this. Even though y'all are sitting on the money. And I'm, dying from water fasting. And I don't think I'd figured it out yet, what was going wrong with the water fast. But, I was not in good shape. And so I was convinced that what she would do would be throw a fit, say that I had to mow the yard anyway, and if they got a citation, that's what I was worried about, that they're going to get a citation for this mile tall grass, and she's going to try to make me pay it, which I wouldn't do, but fortunately they did get the grass mowed last weekend before any of that could happen. So, and every time I make videos now, like since the water fast thing, my stomach is making horrible sounds on camera all the time. Like, I hope I'm recovering. Because I broke that fast, and I'm going to try to get my diet normalized again and my body normalized again. Which is kind of disappointing because I enjoy a good water fast here and there, but now I know that as long as I'm in the situation that I'm in, sweating all day, every day, I cannot do a water fast. But yeah, I mean, interesting to me, like, it was allegedly just the end of the world that I didn't mow the lawn the weekend it was raining. But after the money's in her hands that she was demanding, nobody gives a shit about mowing the lawn anymore. So, fuck that. It's not important to them to get the lawn mowed, or else it would have been done that day. They would have called somebody. That's all utter bullshit. So, yeah, just getting my head clear and realizing I don't owe this woman anything. She has no legal authority, and she's a bully and a monster who torments her disabled son and abuses her disabled son when she doesn't get her way. I'm not cooperating. But I must stay there to protect my truck until I can afford to get it fixed, because that is my parachute. Yeah, and I'm not worried. Like, I'm in a new place as of the last couple days, and just realizing, so what if she gets mad and yells and screams, and I'm braced for it. I know it's coming. That's just who she is, unfortunately. Then she wants to always tell people about Jesus and how, we need Jesus in public schools and all. Like, I'm like, woman, you need Jesus. Like, start with yourself. If that's what you want to preach, let's look at the Gospels. I mean, come on, because everything she does is the antithesis of the teachings of Christ. Yeah, it makes sense she voted for Rump. Still leaving out the T's because I stand in solidarity with my trans brothers and sisters. If he wants to remove the T's, he doesn't get them either. President Rump. I should say, she. Anyway, moving on. If she's not gonna recognize their gender identities, I'm not gonna recognize hers. So, yeah, but anyway, that's off topic. That will be the next vlog, talking about the insane current events of being an American in 2025. But, you know, I'm not going to get into it in this one. This one was just, this stuff happened. As I said before, shit will occur. And so it has. And so I'm in a very hostile environment where I sleep. You know, again. So, what else is new? But I will get through this. I will get through this. I will get out of that situation. I will have my own place again. You know, I'm just even more determined, and now I'm determined to get my friend out of there too. But, yeah, so I mean, that's it for now. That's my insane story time vlog for this time. Like, I'm just... it's a lot, man. It's a lot. But it's, you know, just one more battle. Like, I mentioned, like, this, Matt and I just did an episode of Autodidactica that goes up on, that's our podcast, it goes up on October 16th. It's our Halloween episode. And we were talking about ghosts. That was the topic, like ghosts, visitations, hauntings, that kind of thing. And like I was talking about how my mom would have these dreams at one point on the podcast, and how, you know, it's like, speaking of visitations, like dead relatives would appear in her dreams and point to a person, or take her and make her pay attention to a person in the dream, and she'd wake up and get on the phone and find out what was wrong, because then that person, it would turn out, was in distress, like something horrible had happened, like weird things like that. My mom's dreams were scary. Like, and I talked about a few of them on that podcast episode. You can listen to that next month. But one of her dreams, and I didn't talk about this in the podcast, but I've been thinking, because it has nothing to do with ghosts or spirits, you know, it's just my mom and her scary dreams that always come true. And she had this dream a long time ago that she was an old woman walking up stairs, like she was exiting, and she saw me and my sister had everything really easy, and like, you know, the way she was living her life and helping people, it became really easy for her, and she was just playing her guitar and singing. And then she saw me, and I'm in, you know, full Native American warrior face paint and gear, like, and I'm fighting my way through a landscape of rocks and lava, like, and I've been thinking about that so much lately, because my mom has ascended, and here's where we are, and it's very much like that dream that she told us about. But, you know, cool. If that's what my Choctaw ancestry is for, cool. I'm gonna fight through this crap. So anyway, I mean, it's just interesting to me, like, that kind of stuff. It's weird. I mean, my mom's dreams are scary because they come true. And here I am. Just, and you know, my life might as well be a field of rocks and lava, and I'm like in war paint trying to get through my life. And, you know, it's always a fight. I'm always in a battle. So, but I always come through. So, I was writing today. I was writing on my new werewolf novel, sequel to Cry Wolf. That's going really well. Like a lot of things, everything in publishing is going really well. It just takes months to years to see results financially from that. But, you know, if I can get through the next 6 to 9 months, I'm going to start seeing some results, and eventually, because, you know, I haven't had a new book come out in 4 years. The Legends of Nod had a good June. They had a good Pride month. Often my Legends of Nod books do really well in June. But again, it's months before I'll see anything from that, and it won't be enough to get me out of this situation. I need to have new releases. So, you know, once all the projects I'm working on here start dropping and, you know, getting published, it's going to be a continuous stream of releases. So that is what should hopefully get me in a better place. So anyway, that's my vlog. I had wanted to talk about the politics and stuff in this one, but that's gonna have to wait till the next one because this one took up all the time. Anyway, I am gonna get out of here for the night. If you are so kind and so inclined, please leave an interaction of some sort, like, subscribe, comment, because that helps the algorithm to see me, which helps in the long run. Like, I've said a million times, I'm not trying to be a famous YouTuber. I'm very happy and comfortable with a micro channel. By the way, we've gained 4 new subscribers, so that's cool. It's like 6 more and I have to keep my promise of buying a new hat because we'll be at 100. But yeah, if you help us out in the algorithm a little, I will be grateful, but that's not a requirement because I myself am a lurker. I mostly don't interact. I just watch a video and go away. But I'm trying to get better at it for the people who I really want to help. Because I know how unforgiving the YouTube algorithm is, and my channel is designed to go against the algorithm, basically. Because I don't do the exact same thing in every video, which is kind of what you have to do in order for the algorithm to love you. It's like, oh, this guy sits and reminisces about being Gen X in every single video. That's what he does. That's who he is. Like, I like channels like that, but I can't do that. I'll get bored. I'll get burnt out. I have to keep it a little different. But anyway, yeah, so I'm done for now. If you want to check out my writing, you can go to my author website, glennslade-clark-jr.com, which is up and running at the moment. As of today, it's up and running. So check me out there. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to y'all next time.